Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I have great pleasure in supporting the bill and the motion that is before the House in terms of the Pacific Communities University bill. As the speakers before me have said, the PTC has had a rich and powerful history and impact not only on Fiji, but also in the region. As it's been pointed out, it was actually founded 1 year before I was born. So a long time. It's been registered in Fiji back in 1964, established in its current location 1965, offered degrees before University of the South Pacific came into being. It started offering bachelor level degrees in 1966. And then it began to offer its first master's program in 1987, pretty ominous year to start master's program. In 2004, it has its first PhD program. So now in 2026, it has moved on. It will be coming, after this bill has been enacted to become an act, it will become a university after many years. So there's a lot of things about the university that I particularly like about its, how it is structured and some of the things. I think the Honorable Tina Davis talked about this concept that they have of whole of life. A lot of us, when we go to universities, we tend to think of life only in terms of westernized civilization ways of looking at what is important and what is not important. But in this university, one of the things that seems to permeate the way that it is structured and what it's teaching is about whole of life rather than just pure subject matter expertise. And the way they describe it in the presentation they made to the committee, that this whole idea of whole of life vision is about an educational consciousness that includes every dimension of life. So it's not just about the straight teaching. And that in turn is rooted in the idea of the collective rather than the individual. And today in the world, we tend to look more at my understanding, my expertise, myself. But the idea here is rooted in the idea of the collective where everyone is differentiated yet integrated, and everything is differentiated but still integrated. So there's ideas of contrast, but together becoming something that is bigger than us and better than us. And it talks about all of this being grounded with the Christian religion in mutual life-giving relationship of the divine community of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Then it talks about all of this is then revealed in the diverse life-affirming cultures and kinship traditions of the Pacific. So it's talking about all of these relationships are actually seen in the way that we live our lives in the Pacific, in terms of our cultures and our kinship. Then goes on to say this is manifested in now interconnected ways of being and relational ways of knowing that are both harmonious and contradictory at the same time. Harmonious and contradictory at the same time, communicated through our diverse languages and dialects, and constantly displayed in our sacred traditions of sharing, caring, and custodianship of creation. I like that idea, Mr. Speaker, sir, because a lot of us, when we go to school, we've always focused on the westernized way of thinking about what is important and what is not important. And the way that PTC and now the Pacific Communities Universities talk about this whole of life concept. And it gives us, the Pacific Islanders, we should be conscious of how unique we are in the world. In the Pacific, Australia has been inhabited for 60,000 years. People live there, using the knowledge that they'd gained. People have lived in Papua New Guinea for more than 40,000 years. They traveled great distances to be there. People have lived in this country, in Fiji, for more than 3,500 years. They've sailed oceans. And I think it's incumbent upon us to take cognizance of the special skills that allowed them to live in those circumstances at that particular time. And I think that kind of thinking is permeated in what the university is trying to propagate. And I look at some of the pillars on which this whole of life vision that they talk about in this in the university. They talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pillars. One is relationality. Education must be relational and holistic. So it's not standalone. It's just not individual. We look at how things work together. It's about decoloniality. Education must challenge colonial systems of knowledge. We are brought up in this colonial type system where we think that whatever the colonial master says is always right. But we need to value ourselves and value our own societies. It must be community-based. Education must be developed by communities for communities. developed by communities for communities. Justice. Education must be prophetic and justice-driven. And it must be contextualized. Education must recognize the legitimacy of Pacific homegrown models and methodologies. So many times we disregard the way that we traditionally think, the methodologies, the models that we have been brought up. But this university says there's value to all of these things as we go forth in the world that we live in today, Mr. Speaker. And that, to a large extent, is reflected also in the kind of schools that they have in the university. I was looking at the structure of the university. They have a school of Pacifica philosophies, education and science. So he's saying, when you look at education, don't only look at the Western philosophies, also look at the Pacifica philosophies, and these have value. So to advance education and research shaped by Pacifica philosophies and science, fostering whole-of-life learning that empowers future educators, thinkers, and innovators. So that is something that's very good for us. Even when it talks about theology and ecumenism, which is what we normally associate with PCU, it talks about to provide theological and ecumenical education that prepares faith-rooted leaders for the church and society grounded in Pacifica values. Grounded in Pacifica values. So we need to cherish in biblical wisdom and justice-oriented mission. And the third school that they have is for about the things that are happening around us today, the School of Ecology and Resilience Development. And we Pacific Islanders have shown over millennia, over thousands of years, that we have that resilience. And it talks about the School of Ecology and Resilience Development. Its purpose is to equip students with knowledge and skills to respond to ecological and climate challenges through indigenous wisdom, to value our indigenous wisdom, and also through our faith-based perspectives and our community resilient practices. So when you think about all the universities that you have in Fiji, this one is particularly unique, one, because it tries to capture all the attributes of the Pacifica communities from the different countries that are part of the founding members of the university, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I was looking through, I think that's it, yeah. And so what I would like to say, Mr. Speaker, sir, we need to send our appreciation to those churches that have been there for the past 40, 50 years, now 60 years. The Anglican Church of Melanesia, the Anglican Diocese of Polynesia, the Congregational Christian Church in American Samoa, the Congregational Christian Church of Samoa, the Cook Islands Christian Church, the Ecclesia Christiana Tuvalu, Ecclesia Christiana Niue, Eteratia Portatani Maohi, I hope I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, Evangelical Church in New Caledonia and Loyalty Islands, the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Papua New Guinea, the Free Wesleyan Church of Tonga, the Kiribati Uniting Church, the Methodist Church in Fiji and Rotuma, the Methodist Church of Samoa, the Nauru Congregational Church, the Presbyterian Church of Vanuatu, the United Church of Christ in the Marshall Islands, the United Church of Christ in Pohnpei, United Church of Papua New Guinea, and the United Church of Solomon Islands. And has this been expressed by the Honorable Tina Deva? Within the realms of this university, they use terms from the Pacifica, from the Pacific. And so, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to congratulate all those that have been involved in the Pacific Theological College over the years. And for us as young members of the church, we always look forward to people coming out of PTC, coming delivering sermons, coming teaching us in Bible studies and so forth over the years. So it's great to see that they have reached this level. So, Mr. Speaker, all I would like to say, I would like to wish the Va'atele, I hope I pronounced that correctly, the Council all the very best, the Taumoana or the Chancellor, and of course, the Tautai, who is here with us, Dr. Akanisi Kenreati, First Chancellor of the University, and the Manufolau all the way into the future, sir. So with that, I fully support this bill for the House.